All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're cracking open a toolbox that every single Java programmer needs to have on their belt, the String Toolkit. Seriously, you're going to be working with text all the time, and really mastering these tools is what separates clunky code from something that's truly elegant and efficient. So, let's get started.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get to know our material, the anatomy of a string. Then we'll check out the tools for inspecting and comparing stuff. After that, we'll learn how to find things within our strings. And finally, we'll break out the power tools for transforming them. By the end of this, you'll have your essential toolkit ready to tackle anything.
Okay, first things first. Before we can start building anything cool, we have to understand our materials, right? So, what exactly is a Java string? How does it work under the hood? Let's take a look at the blueprint. At its very core, a string is just a sequence of characters. You know, letters, numbers, symbols, all strung together. But here's the key in Java. It's not just a simple sequence. It's a full-blown, powerful object. And because it's an object, it comes with a whole bunch of super useful built-in methods we can use. So how do you make one? Well, you've got a few options. The one you'll see 99% of the time is the string literal. That's just typing your text inside double quotes. Easy. You can also get more explicit and create a new object using the new keyword, or you can even build a string piece by piece from an array of individual characters. Now, this slide right here shows one of the most fundamental concepts you need to grasp. In memory, you can think of a string as a row of numbered boxes, where each box holds one character. And the most important rule to remember is that the numbering, the index, always starts at 0, not 1. So if your string has 8 characters, the last character is at index 7. This is going to come up over and over again. All right, we understand the blueprint. Now let's grab our first set of tools from the kit. These are for inspection and comparison. Think of them as your measuring tapes and your levels, the basics you need before you do anything else. The most basic tool in the entire kit has to be lengthing. Let's say we have the string welcome. How long is it? Well, the lengthing method tells us instantly. It's 7 characters long. It's simple, it's effective, and trust me, you are going to use this one all the time. And here we go again with that zero-based index. See, I told you it was important. When you want to grab just a single character from a string, you use the char@at method and give it an index. So if you wanted to pull out the M from welcome, you'd ask for char@5 because W is at 0, E is at 1, and so on. Okay, let's talk about a classic programming headache, comparing two strings. Does the case matter? Well, that's up to you. The equals method is strict. It says a capital RAM is absolutely not the same as a lowercase RAM. But then you have equals case ignores method, which is the perfect tool for when you just don't care about case. Think about checking a username. This is exactly what you'd use. So how does a computer actually sort strings alphabetically? It's not magic, it's a method called compare_to. What it does is it compares two strings, character by character, based on their underlying numeric values, their ASCII values, to see which one should come first. It'll give you a negative number if the first string is less than the second, a positive number if it's greater than, and a big fat 0 if they're identical. This is the engine behind all alphabetical sorting in Java. Sometimes you don't need a deep comparison, you just need a quick check. Does this file name end with .pdf? Does this URL start with HTTPS? For that, you've got starts with and ends with. They give you a quick yes or no answer. Just remember, they are case sensitive by default, so keep that in mind. Okay, we've inspected our strings from the outside. Now let's pull out the next set of tools in our kit, our searchlights. These are for finding exactly what you're looking for, no matter how deep inside the text it might be hiding. Your number one searchlight is index of. You can give it a single character or even a whole chunk of text, and it'll tell you the index where it first shows up. So in the string welcome, the first E is at index 1. And here's a super handy tip. If it can't find what you're looking for at all, it'll just return -1. But what happens if the character you're looking for appears more than once? What if you need to find the last time it showed up? Well, that's exactly what last index of is for. It does the same kind of search, but it starts from the end of the string and works its way backward. So for welcome, last index of E gives you index 6, pointing right to that final E. All right, now for the really fun part. We've measured, we've compared, we've searched. It's time to pull out the power tools. These are the ones that don't just look at strings, they let you actively change them and build totally new ones. I want you to meet your new best friend, substringing. Think of this method as a pair of precision scissors. It lets you snip out a piece of a string just by telling it where to start and, optionally, where to end. Want to grab a username from an email address or pull a specific word out of a sentence? Substringing is how you do it. It's all about extracting exactly what you need. And here's your utility belt of quick fix power tools. Need to make all user input the same case? Toe lowercase or toe uppercase has got you. Got annoying extra spaces from a form someone filled out? Trim cleans it right up. Need to swap one word for another? That's what replace is for. And to stick two strings together, you just concat them. These are the fast, powerful tools you will be using every single day. So there we have it. We've officially filled our toolkit. We have tools for understanding, for inspecting, for searching, and for transforming. So let's lay out the most essential ones on our workbench one last time, just to make sure we've got this down. This is basically your cheat sheet. Use length to make sure input isn't too long or too short. Use equals for a secure password check. Use index of to find a special character like an @ symbol. Use substring to pull out someone's first name. And use lowercase of to make sure your search feature can find Java even if the user types Java. See? Every tool has a clear, super practical purpose. And that is your starter kit for mastering Java strings. You now have the tools you need to measure, to compare, to find, and to build. So I want you to think about some code you're working on right now. Which one of these tools can you use to make it cleaner, safer, or just more efficient? The toolbox is wide open, so what are you going to build first?